Hey, what's up? My name is Vasco and this is my daily updates channel. And this is where I'll show you basically what I'm doing to grow my software business, answer questions, and literally show you after a day's worth of work what I did literally step by step to acquire more users for my SaaS business. And so, yeah, let's just get into it. First things first is I want to go over the structure of these videos. This might change, by the way, but the structure is going to be Q&A. So we'll start with Q&A. So you guys can drop any questions in the video's description or comment section or on my main channel, because I do have a main channel where I just share different stuff. And so I'll just go here into the community tab and answer you guys' questions. But regardless, if you leave them here in this main channel or in this one, I'll just answer them all. So yeah, leave your questions below, please. Then I want to go over some growth stats. So what we've, like money we made, signups, all that good stuff, like giving you like a back-end view sort of into our SaaS, our numbers, okay? And then some live strategy when you were like what I did this day. Now this might change, but the structure should be around this. And so yeah, let's just get going. So in terms of Q&A, there isn't much because I've already answered most of the questions beforehand, like days ago or months ago, but we will start off with some regardless that I have here, just because, I mean, this is the very first video, so it's normal that there's not many questions, but regardless, yeah, let's just get going. More questions will come if I ask you guys to leave questions, but I have here a couple though that I do want to go over, starting with this one right here, which asks Messi6849, great video. What are your thoughts on AI no-code SaaS builders like Lovable? Now, these have been popping off like a lot lately, and it's good, right? AI no-code builders essentially allow you to vibe code software. If you don't know, vibe coding is basically you just give it natural language, like, hey, build me a CRM, and then it goes out and takes that natural language as in the language we speak, and converts it into code, right? So the good thing about that is that it basically democratizes basically multiple people can now create software businesses, which is great. Beforehand, like you had to know how to code, etc. So this is good. This is fantastic because more people, like the barrier to entry in SaaS and software is way lower, which on one hand is good. On the other hand, these people will soon realize that the two things. One is that the moat starts being user acquisition, so marketing, because I mean you can have the best software in the world, vibe coded or not, doesn't matter. If there's no users there, it's kind of pointless, right? And second thing is the fact that software is never done, right? There's always bugs, there's always things crashing and all these things you can add to it. So, and I do think people that use these tools, again, nothing against them, but I do think people use these tools, think that once the software is done, it is done. No, it will break forever all the time. So I do like these tools, okay? Because again, you can just get to building so much faster. You can get to validate your idea so much faster, right? Which is good. Like let's say, for example, you have an idea for something. You can just in a weekend vibe code the whole thing and then test it out the MVP in the market. Okay, so I like it. That's my take on it. That being said, I do think because the barrier to entry is lower, because anyone can just press a button and build an app to some extent, that the moat is going to be in acquiring users, user acquisition, because you can't really press a button and acquire users, right? So yeah, that's, I guess, the very first question here. Let's move on to the second one from Joaquin here. It says, I'm a marketing consultant with 8 years experience and owner of other businesses. I'm looking to create a SaaS for the Hispanic market. I'm Argentinian. I think it's a little exploited, market, and some countries are growing a lot. I mean, yeah, I talked about this a lot. Like, most of the world doesn't speak English. Most people speak other languages, Portuguese, Spanish, Greek, whichever language, Mandarin, right? So even though I think software doesn't really care the language you speak, I feel like if you just create a software and first serve a non-English market first, I think it's a great way to penetrate a market. Because there's two ways in which you can do it. You can grow your software, you can acquire users in software by being hyper specific, so just solving a small pain point. So not trying to create a bunch of features from the get-go, which was the mistake I made with my very first software, by the way. Like instead of trying to create the whole thing, just create a small segment of the issue you want to solve. Specific group of people, specific issue, right? And then you can also do it, like go niche with language. So go out and target only Spanish-speaking businesses or only target Portuguese-speaking businesses, right? So I think it's a good idea. So yeah, just go out and do it, because again, most people don't speak English. For example, we have a Brazilian guy producing content for us, and he attracts Portuguese speaking people for our software, which is great. Okay, let's see what else we have here. Just one more before we go on with the next thing. So we have this one right here saying, would you recommend Cursor to build the software rather than partnering with a developer? Well, I always think it's way smarter to partner with someone, right? Even though there's the narrative where people think that in a couple of years or in a year from now, there's going to be a lot of one-man businesses, and we do see that happening more and more. That being said, the good thing about a partner is that he or she can just focus on the tech, and you just focus on the user acquisition, or the other way around, right? If you're building a software business and you actually want to make money and you want to be competitive, well, you have to be really good at product and marketing, and that's very hard to do. So just partner up with someone that goes over all the product, building the product, bug fixing, UI, UX, all that boring stuff. I mean, all that important stuff, and then you focus on user acquisition and sales. I have always done that. Right? I think it's way smarter than, for example, paying a dev, because I did that mistake in my very first software business, which was I had 100%, right? And I paid this dev, which is now my partner, funny enough. I paid him, I don't know how much, but we paid him. I built the software. It was amazing. A bunch of mistakes we made along the way. It doesn't really matter right now. And then once it was built, well, sure, he was maintaining it. He maintained it for a couple of months, but then he just wanted to move on to something else, right? He wanted to move on, build new stuff, right? New exciting projects. And I couldn't lose him, right? Because again, as I said before, software always has bugs. All like stuff crashes all the time. So I needed someone to be here with me, and I didn't want to lose him. So I gave him some equity, and the equity play giving him some equity, got him to stay for a little bit longer. But then eventually, again, the same thing was brought up. Like he wanted to move on to different projects. And so what I did was I just sold that business. I already wanted to sell it before. Like I sold that business, and I just went all in with him in a new one, 50-50. And I got to retain the talent and build something way bigger, way more successful, way faster, because I was walking the road of success with someone else. So again, I basically always give you answers based off of my experience. Maybe if I had done this alone, I'd give you another answer, because I've done it with someone else, I give you this answer. That's basically it. Now let's go over, I guess, some of the growth stats. So for this week, for today, I have something funny. Not funny, but interesting, I guess. I've been posting a lot on Twitter. And throughout the last 3 months, so last month, I got 2.4 million impressions. And this month, I got almost 600,000 impressions, which is quite decent, because people who see your posts eventually just go to your profile, see who you are, and then they click on your profile, and then you just sign up to your software, right? And so the tweets were quite simple. I mean, nothing major that got all these impressions. The first one was, let's see here, was one just comparing SaaS versus agency, got 27,000 impressions. Then another one doing the same thing, 25,000 impressions. Then another one, I think it's this one right here, 68,000 impressions, 300 bookmarks, 1.5k likes, 69 comments, 1,800 retweets. Yeah, pretty straightforward. And then the latest one was this, 27,000 impressions. There you go. So yeah, the tweets are basically getting impressions, getting eyeballs on myself and the product. Now, the thing with Twitter is that you have to be super consistent, right? And all I do basically is just, when I see something, I just tweet it out. Like, just like what I'm doing here with these daily updates, even though this is the first day. It's just after a long day's of work or during the day of work, if I see stuff, for example, I just saw that Google Trends, like SEO now is trending higher than it ever has been, right? I just made a tweet. That tweet simply got us 8,000 impressions. So 8,000 people saw this, right? Now, not all of them, of course, will buy my product. Not even all of them will just visit my page, let alone click here, let alone buy it, right? But they get introduced to who I am, right? They get introduced to the brand. And eventually, like, out of all these people right here, out of millions and millions of impressions, some of them actually go to the site. Some of them actually might be able to buy, right? And we see this. Actually, our very first customers did come from Twitter, from X. So yeah, that's pretty cool to see. Now, I'm doing the same thing on LinkedIn. I'm basically, any tweet I make, I just sort of convert it into a LinkedIn post. Let me see here, right here. The past 7 days, I got 66,000 impressions. And by the way, this is business-focused content, okay? Again, this is just the same thing on these tweets, on these LinkedIn posts, right? Some of them flop, most of them flop. This one got 20,000 views. It was basically this guy DM'd me on LinkedIn I mean, you can just read the whole thing. But yeah, stuff that's relatable, business savvy, business related, to get business people into this. And then I see a ton of people going to my profile because LinkedIn gives you this data. And yeah, they get introduced to me. They see me more often, and they eventually buy from me, which is pretty cool. I'll give you another update tomorrow on how we got a sale from our new service, but we'll more on that later on. I don't want to be giving you too much info right now. Again, this is also the very first video. I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to do this. But yeah, just the same thing. I just post them to LinkedIn, like basically the same thing. Most of them flop, as you can see here. Most of them like just literally flop. Some of them get 84,000 impressions. This was simply like I have some Fiverr stock, by the way, and I was a seller on there for like ages, and I really like the platform. But with this new AI trend, basically a lot of their freelancers became like useless, and so I just searched up their stock on Google, and it was like down 100%, which is insane. And I just made I just screenshot my phone, made a LinkedIn post out of it, super simple. 84,000 impressions, a bunch of comments, a bunch of people visiting my profile. Wait, can I check this right here? It's bugging out. Let's see. Okay, there it goes. 168 people visit my profile. Now, will all them buy? No, most likely not. But if you can get constantly 100,000 of impressions, millions of impressions every single month, eventually some of them will buy, okay? That's how you build rapport with people. So that's it on this front, basically. That's the growth strategy I'm applying right now. We also do YouTube, of course, and I'll talk more about that in coming videos. But yeah, basically building in public or building a personal brand. And what more and more companies are doing right now is like you have the founder or founders, right? And then you have the customer support guy, you have the customer success guy, you have the developer 1, you have the developer 2, you have the HR person, HR girl, whatever, right? All these, like what companies are doing right now is making and creating personal brands off of all these people, because it amplifies the reach the company gets. So yeah, sort of founders post, I post, right? My co-founder posts, but now we just made our customer success guys started to post as well. So we can amplify the reach. So you have all these people organically driving traffic to our business. And because people buy from people, right, we are able to create such trust, rapport, right, with potential buyers that whenever they're in the market for something, or if they are, and they see us, they feel like we're friends. There's some sort of parasocial relationship there that gets people to buy, because again, people buy from people. And again, most of our customers at the start came from Twitter, and some of them now come from LinkedIn, right? But it's a long play. It takes time to get something with organic. You have to post for a lot of time, getting 0 impressions for like weeks, months, even years, right, before something clicks. That's why most people don't do it. I mean, most people start to do it, but they just quit after like 10 days. I mean, I know why, because it's just a pain in the ass, posting every single day, thinking about what you're posting, developing images, like proper like thinking and putting effort into it, and getting 0 sales or 0 traffic. It's a pain in the butt. That's why people quit. But the people who don't quit, well, they can see results like the ones we're seeing right now, and a bunch of other people are seeing as well. So yeah, I guess that's basically it for now. Again, this is still the very first video on these daily updates. Hopefully this is somewhat valuable. Yeah, I guess in terms of live strategy, what I'm doing today right now is I'm redoing our cancellation sequence, because it's so bad right now. Hopefully I can show you guys. This is a welcome one. Basically, yeah, our email cancel sequence. So when someone cancels their subscription, right, we send them emails, we send them offers, we send them a bunch of stuff. But I think it's super outdated, and I want to give people more stuff, because before it was optimized for not winning them back, but it was optimized for them to give us feedback on why they canceled. And I feel like that's not the best use of our time. We tried to test it, not really the best idea. Now I want to optimize the whole sequence, the whole email sequence, for winning them back. So giving them a ton of free stuff, a ton of calls with me, coupons, whatever, anything we can to win them back, instead of doing anything we can to get the feedback as to why they canceled. And I feel like that could be a bit more valuable. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's it. That's the very first daily update of a software founder, a SaaS founder like myself. Again, I'll do these every single day. Hopefully you guys find these valuable. And again, please, any questions you guys have, just drop them in the comments, because I'll do a Q&A at the beginning. Anything you guys want to know about SaaS, customer acquisition, email flows, churn, literally anything you guys want to know. Any questions you have about my software, about whatever we do, ask them as well. I'll leave a link as well for the main channel in this video's description. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.